Hello everyone, this is Aparna Bhat and welcome to our YouTube channel Abhijna Legal Maps. So in this 10-minute video, I am going to explain about different principles of environment law, which is helpful for All India Bar Examination 19 revision. So environment law, basically we have to understand Environment Act, Air Act, Water Act, and also NGT Act, that is National Green Tribunals Act or Public Liability Insurance Act. So there are different acts which mention about the environment principles, and also there are certain case laws, which is the famous among them is MC Mehta series of cases. MC Mehta, it could be Taj Trapezium case or Aravali Hills Range case or Sri Ram gas leak, oleum gas leak tragedy case, or it could be Vellore Citizen Forum case, which is connected to this one. Tannery, Tamil Nadu tannery case. So we have different case laws where they have recognized, Supreme Court has recognized certain principles, environmental principles. So I am going to mention about 8 such principles. Okay, so let us understand them. What are they? What are those? The first one is precautionary principle. What does this mean? The precautionary principle means, it says that we have to take precautions in whether it could be developmental works or in doing something particular act, because it should not injure, it should not harm our environment. So how much ever precautions we take, that would be beneficial for the society and the environment as well. Otherwise, if we don't use, if we use only non-renewable resources, if we consume petrol and diesel more and more, then what is left? Nothing is left. Rather than if we consume some renewable sources like solar energy, or if we recycle them, then it could be some precautions we are taking so that the environment is not being damaged. Or if we segregate some wastes, plastic waste as a different one, electronic waste as a different one, biomedical hazard waste as a different one. So it could be separated, and all these wet waste, they can be recycled, they can be converted into compost, manure, which can be again brought into the earth, right. So certain precautions has to be done before it causes some damage, right. So prevention is better than cure, that is the famous statement we have been learning since childhood. So one such principle is precautionary principle. It says that as much precautions we have to take in protecting the environment. And the second principle is polluter pays principle. What does this mean? So whoever is polluting the environment, he is liable to pay the damages or whatever the injury has been caused due to such pollution, he is liable to pay such compensation to those persons. So that is the principle recognized by Supreme Court in various case laws. Okay, polluter pays, polluter is responsible, he has to pay for those damages. And the next principle is public trust doctrine. What does this mean? Public trust doctrine is nothing but the government or the state is the trustee. It has to see that the environment, the environmental resources, they are used, they are beneficial towards the public. They should maintain that, they should preserve the environment as a trust, because the government is a trustee. So they should not randomly give approvals to so many developmental projects which are actually harmful to the environment, which it could affect deforestation, or right now we have seen recently Kerala landslides, because they have not followed certain principles, certain reports, randomly they have given approvals for the construction developmental works in the very ecological sensitive areas. So such things shouldn't be done. They should maintain or preserve the environment as a trustee so that the public is benefited. So this is known as the public trust doctrine. And the next principle is absolute liability. What does this mean? Absolute liability means whether you have mens rea or not, whether you have the intention to commit certain act or not. But if any damages or any harm is caused because of your things, because of your environment, or because of you, then you are absolutely responsible to compensate them. That is the absolute liability, or it is also known as no fault liability. So this is very similar to strict liability, but strict liability in torts, it has certain exceptions, but this does not have any kind of such exceptions. Absolute means some completely, absolutely you are responsible for whatever damages has occurred because of your deeds or your acts, or because of your things, belongings, your factory or anything even though you are not having any sort of intention to creating harm, intention of doing harm towards that person. So, okay, this is known as absolute liability. And the next principle is sustainable development. What does this mean? See, there are we have two things which needs to be balanced. At the one side, there should be a development. The country should progress. So, for that progress, infrastructure needs to be developed, roads, buildings, bridges, highways, which obviously need land where some deforestation is being done, okay. The forests are being destroyed. On the other side, we have the forest, which is the habitat for lots of animals and which is the source in the entire ecological balance. If the forests are damaged or irrigated lands are destroyed and some buildings are built upon them, then what is the consequence? So, that is what we see, climatic changes and so many things we are seeing, like increase in pressure, increase in heat, increase in rain or sea water level raising. So, different climatic changes are occurring. So, that is why, so development has also to take place, and so this is not document sustainable development, okay, I am so sorry, sustainable development. So, it has to sustain whatever the development is there, it has to sustain the nature has to sustain the development as well. So, both have to be complementing each other rather than destructive, okay. So, that is the meaning. So, ultimately it means that if any development is done, it has to consider everything, it has to consider the environment, environmental impact, the nature and everything, only then the development can be done. So, we cannot disregard the environmental aspects and we cannot go on improving or developing the localities, developing the highways, developing the infrastructure, etc. That is the meaning of sustainable development. Then comes the intergenerational equity. What does this mean? See, we as a current generation, we are having ultimate responsibility to preserve the natural resources for the next generation. We cannot empty it, be it polluted air, we cannot pollute the air and give it to the next generation. So, we should, whatever resources we have, we must look after them with like as if we are the trustees of that. We have to look after them carefully and we have to preserve them for the upcoming generation. That is the meaning of intergenerational equity. Then comes common but differentiated responsibilities. So, this is applicable in international law as well. So, whatever the state or the government, they are having responsibility to develop and also they have the responsibility to preserve the environment. In such cases, all are having responsibilities, all governments, all nations are having responsibility to preserve the nation, to preserve the environment. But some of the developing countries, they have more responsibilities, right. That is why they say common but differentiated responsibilities, because developed countries might have used the resources like more, they have consumed more natural resources. That is why they have more responsibilities to preserve the environment, preserve the nature, so that they have to take more and more actions to preserve and safeguard the environmental resources. This is known as common but differentiated responsibilities. It is also known as CBDR, okay. And also principle of state sovereignty. Every nation, every state is sovereign by itself. It can do anything in its own region. Keeping that thing in mind, it cannot destroy other countries' environment. We can do anything in our environment, but even we have to preserve our environment. But in the name of development or we being in an advantageous manner, we cannot harm other countries, other states' environmental resources. That is the meaning of principle of state sovereignty. Okay, so these are some of the principles like precautionary principle, polluter pays principle, public trust doctrine, absolute liability, then sustainable development, intergenerational equity, common but differentiated responsibilities, and the last one is principle of state sovereignty. So, please keep these things in your mind, note them down. These are applicable for environment law. Some of the questions may come regarding this in All India Bar Examination 19. So, if you are interested, definitely you can download our Abhijna Law Series app. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Abhijna Legal Maps is completely dedicated to English lectures. So, those who can follow English, they can follow them. We already have Abhijna Law Series, which is in Kannada, which is imparting education for All India Bar Examination and also Judiciary Examinations as well. We also have an app in Google Play Store, Abhijna Law Series app, where you can find free tests. We have lectures in Kannada. Very soon we will be upgrading it to English lectures as well, but as of now we have Kannada lectures. If you can follow Kannada lectures, definitely you can purchase All India Bar Exam 19 courses there, okay, which is for 5,000 rupees. And during this Navratri we have a festive code, festive 30, where you get 30% discount. So, this is the home page, www.abhijnalegal.in, and you can find free tests here and also courses here, which is in Kannada. Okay, so this is all about our today's class. So, thank you for watching, and if you have liked this video, do not forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Thank you. See you in my next video. Bye bye.